Current status of the program is that we're fully funded, we're going to be fully staffed, and I will make a caveat of saying the fully staffed. I'm going to use a GA this year and a fourth coach position and then add that next year because I just wanted to have a little bit of a transition and there was somebody good that I wanted to use. We have the full support of the athletic department and our alumni, and there's also a very sound plan in place for paying for the things that we need to do in the future. So I felt like from that standpoint everything was in place. Most importantly, we have a philosophical backing from the top level of this university all the way down, from President Crow to Ray Anderson, the athletic director, all the way down to us. So we have the complete support of the administration side, and there's a ton of enthusiasm from the alumni who are excited that the program's not only back but it's going to be able to, move forward. So I'm pretty confident that everything is as good as it can be. I'm not sure it could be better right now. The biggest strength is that we have tremendous support and a vision to go somewhere. Now, it's my job to turn the potential into actual, which is, we know, a tough job. But what we have right now is this entire university working together on something that could be very exciting, not just for the university, but for the community and really for USA Swimming or just swimming in general. And that's one of the things that spoke to me about ASU. I think that, people have conceptions about universities and colleges and how they operate and what they're about. And one of the things that I found in my research about ASU, because I really looked into it carefully, is that our president, Michael Crow, over the last decade, has basically been at the forefront of reinventing higher education in this country. It's based on a concept of inclusivity versus exclusivity. And I sit back and I think, and I'm like, why would an educational entity really want to kind of build itself on keeping people out? We want to bring people in. Having said that, you can look at things like the Barrett Honors College, which is ranked #1 in the country, right here. So there are avenues for people who want to pursue academics at the very highest level they can be here. There are avenues for people who want to pursue different career paths. So there's a lot of options here that aren't really available in other schools, and there are a lot of ways that those can be attained. ASU is the leader in online education. It's the #1 international, has the highest international population of any university in the United States, so it's a very diverse cultural institution. So a lot of those things really spoke to me because I wanted to kind of reinvent the way that, college swimming might be delivered to our clientele, and produce a program that could allow people to come in and, be in a program that would compete at the top level while pursuing an education that will take them to the next step, but to do it in a way that might not just be the way it's been done for the last 30 years. And that's kind of spoke to me. I believe in education quite a bit, and I also believe in creativity and flexibility, and those are two words that Ray Anderson, my athletic director, used when we had our meeting. And I love that concept of doing things that are not just by the book, the way they've always been done, and that's what we're going to try to do here. No, it just expands who we can recruit. I think that we will have access to a much wider population of swimmers. But within that, I think that if someone has aspirations of being in a very rigorous academic climate, they can do that. If they want to be in a climate where maybe it's not the 100th percentile of rigor, but it might be 80 or 70, they can do that as well, and they can kind of come up with plans that work for them. And I like that. I just don't like trying to always fit people into one mold. I think that's interesting and something I'd like to get into. And I run a really high volume program, and I just don't think it's true. We probably, with the middle distance athletes, are at 50, and it goes down from there. The distance people might do 70, But we're talking about, Sierra Runge and Lotta Freeze and Becca Mann, people are doing a 10K and 1,500 meters, or, so they might be 70, which I still don't, in real perspective, consider super high volume. I mean, it kind of is. So I think that's probably the biggest misconception. Along those lines, somebody did ask me, well, are you going to have enough time to run your program in 20 hours? And I seriously went back and looked at the workouts that we've done in Baltimore, really in Michigan, over the time. And I have never gone over 2 hours. And actually in Baltimore, we don't go over about an hour and 45 minutes of training. Because what we do, we do move along. But, I don't do a lot of super long practices. And I've never gone over 2 hours. It's just, I feel like if you go over that, it's just kind of worthless. In some ways, I guess, but I haven't figured them all out yet. This seems to be relatively similar. Recruiting is the name of the game, and we're going to live and die by recruiting. So I'm putting quite a bit of thought into that and how we can, make things more attractive to a wide range of athletes, particularly those at the top level who haven't really considered Arizona State in the past. Well, I'm just more experienced. And honestly, when I was at Michigan and I'd left, after a relatively short time, for good reasons, I have no regrets about it, but there were some things when I left, I had kind of figured out the game for my last 2 years. So I really got 2 years where I was kind of really doing it, and the first 2 years were just trying to figure it out. And I always was saying, well, man, if I could just go back now and start at Michigan, we would have been so much better at the end because I would have understood things so much better.